So I've got a question here about body weight. What is your ideal race? How to calculate your ideal race weight? So what we see, this is cycling based. It's also running based. How to calculate your ideal race weight? I would say, at a weight where you are on top of your mental game. Right. So I've done experiments. I've gone down to like 59 kilos, been up to 73 kilos, all very, very lean. 73 kilos and more muscular on the gear, etc. So I've been at different levels of body weight, pretty much similar body fat percentage. But I'd say that when you get too light, your mental ability drops off. Right? So you may be light, you may look the part, but mentally you're not there. You don't have the hunger. You don't have that fucking aggression that you really need to get your best out of a time trial or a fast marathon or a bike race or whatever. So there is a massive emphasis on body weight, which is important for sure. But if you go too far, too lean, then your performance drops off. And I see this all the time. I've been racing for 20 years. I did my first ever crit in 1997. All right, so I've been racing. I've had 20 years of racing on and off here and there. But almost every year for 20 years done a race. So a lot of experience riding with professional riders, a lot of experience coaching up noobs from day one, going to the bike shop with them, walking them out of Giant Adelaide with a Giant Defy or whatever, TCR, day one, going up Mount Lofty or Norton Summit, just, day one. So I've got that experience from day one noob, fat, overweight, to seeing them progress and progress and progress. So I got that experience where I can, and personal experience myself, personal experience coaching other people who are non-racers that could become racer level, etc. So that personal experience, I'm 41 a couple of days. So that level of experience, I can speak with conviction. I haven't just read a book at uni and go, this is what the science said. No, this is based on a real world shit. So listen up. So how lean is too lean? It's very, very simple. When your mood starts to drop, when your performance in other areas, if your relationship's starting to drop down, if your work ethic's starting to drop down, if you're a YouTuber, I can't say, if you're doing less production or whatever or content, then something's wrong. If your relationships are fading or flailing around, then something's wrong. If your performance overall is starting to get a little bit like you're starting to plateau a bit and you're really lean, then you're too lean. Right? So if your performance is going up and up and up, your body weight's going down, you're all right. But as soon as your body weight's going down, your performance starts to plateau, you've met that little train crossing there. Right? So you've got to back up and go back to that and just stay at that weight. Don't go lighter than that. Go up or down from there. That's your set point. So let's say for me, I would say that my ideal weight is about 66, 67 kilos. And I could dip under that for like a marathon, something like that, but maybe for a couple of weeks, but I wouldn't want to stay at that. Otherwise, things are going to start to go downhill after that. So how I'd change that to gain weight would just cut the training back down. Cut the training right off, which I've done this year. I haven't done any training this year, maybe just 160 Ks a week for the start of the year. Follow me on Strava, you'll see that. So I can tell if I spot someone on the street, someone says, Harley, what's my weight? What's my ideal weight? I can tell them like, boom, like that. Just takes me 5 seconds. And if I say to someone, you're too lean or you don't want to lose any more weight than you're at now, then that's where you're at. So if you can come to my retreat coming up next year, I might even do another one this year. You can ask me, Harley, do you think I'm too lean? Or join my coaching group. Go to durianrider.com and post some photos of yourself on there and ask me, hey, Harley, am I too lean? Or can I lose a bit more weight? And I'll be able to tell you straight away. So it's hard though, because if you're a cyclist, you're already going to be pretty lean typically. Most of us are anyway, especially if you're following my advice, you will be. It's very easy to get to the Razor's Edge on Durian Rider's program, high carb, low fat. Very, very easy to look at all the people you've seen my videos the last 10 years, the ones who still doing it long term. Look how skinny and lean we all are. All right, so it's very, very easy to live on that Razor's Edge. To get to that Razor's Edge, it's very, very easy to get super skinny on my advice. But you can go beyond that point where your lifestyle quality starts to go downhill, your health starts to go downhill. Right? So that's where you're going to make dietary changes, training changes. Generally, I would recommend just training changes, just less training. Right? Back off the training. Still keep eating healthy, but just back off the training. Because we can increase dietary fats, but then there's the risks of heart issues or skin issues or thyroid issues. What did you say? Just back off the training. That's what we have to do. So that's what I do. It's back off the training. Maybe a little bit extra, a few % fat per week. But otherwise, just back off the training, and then you also look better as well because you're a bit more healthier, because not as emaciated. So that's the set point, is basically where your performance in other aspects of life starts to go downhill and you're starting to plateau. You're not really getting that much faster. Your power's not really improving that much. You sort of, your time trial time's about the same, but other things are going downhill. Your friendships, or you know, people who are responsible, mature, start to say, "Hey, you're making some bad choices here." If people like me in your life, like Daddy durianrider, saying stuff, "Hey, what are you doing? You're taking risks or whatever," then you should take heed of that. That notice. You be aware of that. So if people that you look up to or whatever in your life are saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" then you got to stop and go, stop and reflect and go, what am I doing? Am I a bit cray? What am I doing? And look at some of the stuff I've done out there. It's been pretty crazy. And it's generally, when you're really, really fit, you're on that razor's edge, mentally, emotionally, etc. Right? So just be really aware of that. So if you find yourself starting to cry a bit easier or feeling a little bit down a bit easier, then just back off the training. Back it off. Assuming you're eating enough carbohydrates, all right? If you're already smashing the carbs and you're still feeling a bit, back off the training. Assuming if you're on really, really lean as it is. So that's my experience like that. I remember, I was having a chat today with a mate up the doy and just talking about different body weights. And I remember just thinking, like, my performance-wise off the bike was really, very poor. So yeah, it's very, we live in a great first world situation where we can experiment with this stuff. There's people, unfortunately, every day who die from starvation. And we can make YouTube videos about it and say, oh, am I leaning off? Am I too lean? Can I lose a bit of weight? Am I too, we live in a pretty incredible reality, to be able to watch this video, have the time to be able to do that and just sort of chew over these sort of topics is pretty interesting. So how to calculate your ideal race weight, I would say your body mass index wants to be around 20, 21. Right? 20, 21 is good, 22 even. And maybe you could dip down to 19 for a race. Not from dieting, but just from the increase of training. Or just drop it down. It's mainly like fluid retention you sort of lose there. So you could maybe high 19s for your racing, for your race, your peak race or whatever, because your training is going to go up, so your BMI is going to drop down a little bit. But otherwise, stick around 20 to 22 BMI. You're going to have better hormones, you're going to have better mood, you're going to enjoy your life a lot better, and you're going to have a greater participation in daily reality. So basically, I use the BMI calculator. Anything over 21 is starting to affect performance a little bit, but 2019s to 2021, that's really good. Probably a 20 and a 21 is a real sweet spot there. You've got less chance of being sick, things like that. You're going to have people around you, you're going to have more energy for them. You're going to be really getting to deep conversations and really be a leader in your community, stuff like that. So the BMI calculator is very accurate like that. Times where it's not accurate is maybe if you're an Asian. I noticed some Asians can get like a 17 BMI and still be really, really functional in life. So if you're Asian, then I would say you could have maybe 2 points less and still be very, very functional. If you're Caucasian, if you're taller, then you're going to be, BMI wants to be a little bit on the higher end. So maybe in the 2021 versus the 19. So I would say if you're under 5'10", you want to be careful getting too low in BMI. If you're under that, then your BMI can, if you're Asian, I call them the Asian weight, Asian bone structure, then you can be, if you're like 5 foot tall, or 5'5", 5 foot, which is optimum sort of running height. Look at the world record holders, 5 foot to 5'5", all the world record holders, because they can get that low BMI without breaking down. Anyone taller than that, the BMI drops under 19, then things start to break down, hormones, mood, go a bit cray-cray. You don't have the passion for the high-intensity racing, stuff like that. So be careful of that. So use the BMI, how to calculate your race weight, your ideal race weight. The best way to get there is high-carb, low-fat vegan. Do your training. If you want a training plan, go to durianrider.com, stuff like that. Do that weekly fast bunch ride. Or if you're not used to bunch rides are very, very dangerous. I should say do that weekly fast time trial, individual time trial, things like that. They're really, really helpful. But get my book I just put out yesterday, updated it. It's called Durian Rider's Lean Body Bible. I talk about training and stuff in there. So if you're really serious about cycling, get a copy of that ebook. Links down below, durianrider.com. I hate to be salesy and stuff, but shit, man, my stuff is the best information out there. Look at all the transformations that have occurred from following my tips and advice. This stuff's based on real life, real world shit. It's not based on some pseudoscience I read at university or whatever. This is real life shit we're talking here. So the BMI calculator, keep it, if you're Asian, you can go a bit lower, 18s, stuff like that, maybe 17, maybe for a little bit. But if you are Caucasian, over 5'10", then you want to stay 19, 20, 21, 22 even. And you have more energy, you have more power output, And when you can push more power, then that transfers to other areas in life. If you're this like super light, I'll tell you some stories. I know some cyclists out there in the 90s and a few years ago, even today. I know a few people out there. I know a lot of people out there actually. And they're very frail and they might go uphill pretty fast, but they're like, they can't really contribute to their relationship that much, or they can't really contribute to their kids that much, or they're very like insular in their cycling. So their little bubble. People might say they're anorexic or even sort of maybe. But when you're that lean, there's nothing else going on in your life. It's just like it's this little insular little bubble. And I live in a bubble, but my bubble is productivity and contribution. And so if your bubble is just that, riding is all you can do, then yeah, you're too lean, and you need to expand your energy output into things that actually matter more than riding a bike. Anyway, that's the thing. So BMI calculator, type in your height, type in your weight, go to BMI calculator, check it out. If you're under 19, if you're under 20, then you're on the razor's edge. You don't really dip under that unless you're Asian. But most of my audience here is Caucasian. So yeah, do you want to, and just see, and just look at your life. You stop back and go, how much am I giving to other people in my life who are important to me or who help me out? Am I just take? A person who is very, what's the word? I won't say fucked up, but a person who's very, are we very independent, or are we dependent, or are we interdependent? Can we give to other people, or can we just, or do we only have enough energies to take from other people, or can we actually really give at a deep level? And if we can't, then we're probably too light. So we've got look at all those things. People just talk about watts per kilo. That's great, but what about watts per kilo of a lifetime? So you can have watts per kilo on the bike, but I recommend people increase their power. If you're doing my program, you need to increase your power. You don't need to decrease weight, because you've done this program long enough. You'll be like that. So you want to increase your power, because then that can transfer into other areas of your life. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, here's some questions down below. We'll cover it more. Body fat, excess body fat, not an issue in this lifestyle. Trust me on that one.